Can you imagine a 6-year-old boy on a battlefield full of gunfire? What kind of devastation in Hui's Hu? He drags heavy bullets and refreshes the video to add supplies. It looks like a little formal, but this one doesn't belong to him. Hilga. Not long ago he was enjoying his childhood in a happy family. Come to this day. Lu Junking, their village. The price is better than the neighbor's aunt. Sergi, who had not figured out the situation, was pushed out of the window by the neighbor and told him to run. I had no choice but to rush towards the grass and call my mother while running. Putongwu can't help but look back when the village has become a sea of fire. This one continues to run deep in the forest. But soon he lost his way. At a loss, Sergi kept calling his mother but got no response. He knew that his mother might never show up again. On the second day he walked aimlessly in the forest alone. Drink water when you are thirsty. Eat wild fruits when you are hungry. But these are not enough to maintain her body's functions. Finally this day I probably couldn't hold back and fainted. Can't wake up again. He has been taken back to the barracks by Soviet scouts. Some people ask him about your parents. Sergi couldn't help crying anymore. It is proposed that the army ushered in a child. The soldiers are very happy because seeing him can remind them of their children. The chef brought food for him. Please don't make a piece of wood for him. The price of the nurse exam is caring for her. The commander also likes this kid. The equipment likes Autumn, so he takes down the magazine and plays with him. There are only some nursery rhymes for the serious commander to smile. Mid-Autumn Festival in Deakin County is not a place for children. These are all the children who have now been sent to the orphanage in his hands. Seems to just apply to keep him. The commander to go alone. You and you. Please don't let people come to intercede on behalf of all the soldiers. What does it mean to see Sergi is very warm. Xiafei's arrival, remind the soldiers at all times. What are they fighting for? The commander still refused. They don't know that the commander is actually the most comfortable in the sea. G20 will have a recitation group. Li Shinja ordered to send him a small wooden gun and he accepted the part of the small wooden box. I dare not look at her again recently. What do you realize now? Hold her in one hand. This is when my heart may be softened. He asked Tigergate to be his son. The commander who was left in the barracks became his father and learned the news. The soldiers are very happy. Dongguan Building then prepared WeChat and he made a military uniform. The second person woke up in the church, put on military uniforms and ran happily in the field. But he didn't know the danger was approaching quietly. This little 6-year-old video is running in the barracks. But suddenly the army launched the Sergi Bulletin Index, which was not available in the air raid. Dad quickly came up with a negative number and he sent him into the post-war period. After the bombing. This is the door is badly damaged. Watching the wounded all over the floor. Hill will see the cruelty of war. You are worried about your father's safety, so he asks if he has seen his father. Hilton's behavior affected the patient and hugged her aside. Criticized. Sergi soon realized that the most. Then he took the initiative to take care of the patient for a lifetime. He also sang a song for everyone to make everyone happy. On the second day, it was checked by students with good looks. Suzuki Fruit. Smelly asked if he was going on a date. No need to change academic. Not a soldier. Soldiers do not date. Composition find father to receive task. As a little warrior. He also wants to do something for everyone. Under the arrangement of his father, he became a communication soldier who was responsible for distributing the sex room. Those comrades who missed their relatives saw this little soldier come to Captain All. A letter was distributed to the station, and the task was completed. But he thinks he can do something. I have to be a scout. He is holding a telescope and watching everywhere. I accidentally found a moving shoe in the haystack. So he immediately returned to the barracks to report. The soldiers were dubious. It turned out to be really secretary to German troops. Now I found the German radio station in the nearby haystack and set up a big red in the lowest town. But he was very calm. Dad wanted to praise him but he said, "This is what you should do as a fighter." In the evening, a veteran started to talk about the meaning of love for now. Although Li Yu's explanation won't understand. After you got the words of Kujiang veteran, you think of Kajia. On my own dad. Just go. He found his home and lied that his father was sick. Wang Zhou was very nervous after hearing it and ran all the way to the command room. Good things go in. Sergi is fine. It's just that his family is very nervous watching the commander mainly check her body. The commander is also a teammate in the year. The card addition and subtraction multiplied by 20 response. It turned out that I was dizzy now. This was the main attacker of the retiring club. The two of them finally pierced the window paper, but soon there was another one. From here, this time their German general attack yesterday. This 6-year-old boy dragged a heavy bullet to penetrate. While avoiding the enemy's artillery fire, he sent the video to the front line, but after completing the mission, he was unwilling to leave and he had to fight with the soldiers. I have no choice but to give him an order. After returning to the headquarters, the price is known from the students. Their phone line was blown up. It's all because of the inability to communicate with the outside world for the victory or defeat of the city war. Vital. They have sent out 2 videos, which means they run out without any memories. The dialogue he fumbled is all the way forward. In the end, he even crawled out of the station and crawled forward on the ground. He could be detained at any time and mercilessly running, so he was not afraid. Finally he read about the previous communicator. Quit the group and be seriously injured. Passed out in a coma. Society wakes him up. Under the guidance of this communication, the 2 wires are connected together by the needle. The communications of the command headquarters returned to normal, and they were victorious. After the battle, the troops received an order to withdraw and carry out repairs. But the car drove to the office but accidentally ran into a landmine. There was a violent explosion. The site was blown up, but fortunately it was not injured. Different consumption of big data is blown up. Cry the sad grapes in father's arms. After going through hardships, they finally came to the rear. The evidence of this generation came to my father to receive the task. Dad gave a copy of the video to be checked by the enemy. Returning to the immediate object will soon take up some gravity, hugged in my arms, took out the chocolate and gave it to it, but was restricted and rejected. She solemnly said that this one came with an order to check. But I understand that I have assembled the team as seriously as possible, and then... Are there any test results for weight loss? Only video equipment. But he can't write. I had to let the necktie next to him get bloody clothes. After the current school list is handed over to Smith's complement, it is a qualified sympathetic. As for the application performance before now, he was awarded to him, and there is no abnormal heart. Father is also full of pride. All the soldiers looked at him with relief. At night, the Germans launched an air raid here, and now they can jump into the account proficiently. This time my dad was unfortunately reborn from the bombing. Looking at the whole body full of bandages, I will also save the always strong character. This is an adaptation of a real story because the current prototype is the youngest video in the Great Patriotic War. Sergi Mali, but Buddhism is still involved in the war is very distressing. So that this child can grow up quickly. At the same time, the childhood spent on this also caused damage to his health. It is normal that no one goes to God. The latest version of Tsingtao 1700. You are an ordinary person of gender turned into a video.